Welcome to the Hensley English Podcast. Practices just 10 minutes every day. You can do this. Consistency is the secret.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome everyone. I am just so incredibly happy to have you hanging out with us today. So pull up a chair, get comfortable in our cozy little watercolor study room here, grab yourself a steaming mug of coffee, and let's just relax. If you're a beginner looking to master a new language, well, you've come to the perfect place. Today, we're unpacking some really wonderful insights from the Hensley English Podcast. And the main takeaway? Learning English doesn't have to be this loud, stressful, or overwhelming thing. Not at all. It can actually be super comforting, really accessible, and just seamlessly woven right into your everyday life. To keep us on track, here's the quick roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start by looking at a normal daily routine. Then we'll jump into English for busy people, tackle overcoming fear and mistakes, and finally, wrap up with 3 daily learning tips. It's a solid plan to show you exactly how to naturally fit learning into even the absolute busiest of lives. All right, first up, a normal daily routine. Finding familiar patterns in your day. Before we go adding anything new to your plate, I want you to just think about what your daily routine looks like right now. We all have patterns, right? To kind of set the stage, our source material shares Andrew Hensley's schedule, and it just brilliantly illustrates how normal and structured a standard day really is. At 7 a.m., you're waking up, brushing your teeth, maybe having some toast and eggs, and of course, pouring that all-important cup of coffee. After maybe some morning computer work or a quiet walk outside for some fresh air, 12 p.m. rolls around, lunchtime, maybe some rice and veggies. Fast forward past an afternoon of reading, an evening cooking dinner, and boom, 10 p.m. is bedtime. Your day probably looks kind of similar to this, doesn't it? And the beauty here is that this very simple, completely normal foundation is literally all you need to start your language journey.
Moving right along to Section 2, English for Busy People. Because no, you do not need hours of free time.
This brings us to, honestly, the biggest roadblock I hear about all the time. People always say to me, I really want to learn English, but I'm just way too busy. We look at our schedules and think, nope, absolutely no space left. But the solution isn't to completely clear your calendar. It's really just about changing how you think about studying. I want you to really let this quote sink in for a second. Consistency is the secret. You absolutely do not need to sit down at a desk and agonize over a textbook for 3 hours every Sunday. In fact, that's usually way less effective. The real secret sauce is just a little bit of practice every single day. By making English a tiny, manageable part of the routine you already have, you completely eliminate the need to magically find these huge blocks of free time.
Now, what's really interesting here is how the secret of consistency maps perfectly onto those familiar daily patterns we just talked about. Look at how seamlessly these tiny habits fit into different parts of the day. In the morning, you don't need extra time. You just throw on an easy English podcast or a simple video while you're drinking your coffee. It gently gets your ears used to new words right as you're waking up. In the afternoon, maybe on your lunch break, just read a short story or check the news for exactly 10 to 15 minutes. Nothing crazy. And at night, right before that 10 p.m. bedtime, grab a notebook and jot down some simple sentences about your day. Something like, today I went to the park, it was sunny. It's an incredibly smart, low-stress way to integrate learning without completely turning your life upside down.
Let's pivot a bit for Section 3, overcoming fear and mistakes. Because learning really is a journey. So now that we've got the schedule figured out, we definitely need to talk about the emotional side of learning a new language. Because let's be real, it's not always easy. Sometimes, especially as a beginner, you might feel a little discouraged when you don't understand a word, or you might feel incredibly shy about actually speaking out loud. And that brings us to the question that haunts pretty much every single language learner. What if I make a mistake? It can make you feel so incredibly nervous. But listen, this explainer is a totally safe space. and it is entirely okay to feel that fear. We just can't let it stop us. Here is the truth. Everyone makes mistakes. Seriously, even native speakers make mistakes all the time. You absolutely, positively do not need to be perfect. If you stumble on a word or, your grammar isn't exactly right, it really doesn't matter. The absolute most important thing, the real win, is simply that you're trying, you're listening, you're practicing, and you're actually on the journey. So give yourself some grace, be kind to yourself, and just keep going. Just a little bit every day.
Okay, let's bring it all home with Section 4. 3 daily learning tips. These are your actionable steps. We've covered the mindset, we've covered the schedule, and now let's get into the exact concrete steps you can start using today, right at home. Here they are. 3 highly actionable, super easy tips. Step 1, listen to English every day for just 5 to 10 minutes. It could be music, short videos, whatever you actually enjoy. And hey, don't panic if you don't understand every single word. The goal is literally just to let your ears get used to the sounds. Step 2, speak out loud every single day. This is how you connect your brain to your mouth and get comfortable making those new sounds. And step 3, learn just 3 new words a day. That's it. Write them down in a little notebook, say them out loud, and try to use them. Let's zoom in on that second tip for a second. Speaking out loud. I know, it might feel a little goofy at first to walk around talking to yourself, but trust me, it is one of the absolute best things you can do. As you're just going about those normal daily chores we talked about earlier, just narrate your life. Look at these examples from the source material. You can literally just say out loud to yourself, I am making tea now, or I am cleaning my room, or it is a beautiful day. And when evening rolls around, just say, I am cooking dinner. It feels like such a small thing, but you are actively training your mouth to naturally form English words. Now let's think about that third tip, learning just 3 new words a day. 3 words takes almost 0 time. It's so small, you might be thinking, does this even matter? But here's where it gets exciting. If you stay consistent and you learn just 3 words every single day, that magically adds up to 90 new words in a single month. Wow, that is the power of consistency right there. That is exactly how these tiny, stress-free daily habits snowball into massive, undeniable progress. And you never even have to overwhelm your schedule. Well, we have covered a whole lot of ground today, haven't we? From weaving English into your morning coffee routine to finally letting go of that fear of making mistakes. And honestly, you are doing a wonderful job just by being here and focusing on this. As we close out this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, deeply important question to really reflect on. Why are you learning English? Keep that answer close to your heart, okay? Let it be that gentle motivation that encourages you to practice just a little bit every single day. Thank you so much for joining me in our calm little study space today. Keep learning, keep smiling, and I'll catch you next time.